Yeah, we can just start playing it.
Okay. So let me know when to hit play.
Yeah, you get to hit play. So you're on HHM, you're a heavy. HHM is pretty nice for direct confrontation, and it is actually pretty easy to use. It's just other players or other teams play around it by constantly chipping away at your HP, burning util until they eventually go in. You taps fall, you have a mind trap, that bub's wasted. Your M60, all of you are in a, like, tightly in a spot here. It would be good for someone to be on Overwatch. Like, yeah, they have height there, and they're gonna just shoot you. A pad would be fine. Eventually, you just got dropped on. And then,
Boss.
no, like, they just fibbed in front of you, so it's gonna be a 3v2. You grab the body and they res. The problem with that fight at the start is you should have just, like, had a pad. Eventually, like, if like from the very start, one person just posts up and looks over to get info and have height, and they can apply some pressure. But if you're all three playing down there, it's like it's more acceptable because you're double heavy medium, but you're still also just staying there until you eventually got jumped on. So after they show on height, it would have been fine to reactively like just pad on them with a rocket. I see you don't have rocket as well. That's a missed opportunity. Rocket is really nice for heavy. You can keep playing.
Would that be switching out the mine for it?
Yeah, probably the mine. If you're on mesh here, oh, they got another fib. Mesh would have been nice there because you just basically just to get to deny your death and also still contribute towards the fight because I don't think they have glitches or anything. I don't know where the dome got used. Skip through to the respawn. Yeah, just oh yeah, it's fine.
I watched. No, no. Here's the thing. I don't actually
I
watch.
kind of forgot that there was audio from
I watch.
me and my friend talking. How bad?
I only watch box.
That's fine.
Thought I muted it.
So there's two teams here. There's a pink body and then purple's defending. You're on height, but you gotta start going in there and just like getting info so you can start taking space and pressing down. There's only 30 seconds left, and they're like one of the pinks are dead. Found this person. Nice, he dies. So you gotta pick. There's 20 seconds. You really gotta hop down there with a buff, especially with purple wiping. You gotta shoot that C4. Got the kill. Nice. But if that C4 got shot by whoever, like whoever was trying to stall, like they could have just wiped your teammate because you placed a mine near them too, so it'd be like a nuke. But it worked out, like you killed a purple guy, hopped on, and then killed that last pink guy. Both teams were pretty weak when you arrived there. That through party worked out well. There's a minute on the other cash box. And like going either is fine because you can be opportunistic and 3-party that cash out and maybe get a steal or at least just wipe orange, or you can run this box. Given that you're HHM and you don't have a light with gateway to move the box, you're probably going to be cut off moving this all the way to C. I don't hear anything though, so it doesn't like I don't hear any footsteps. It doesn't like anyone wants to cut you off. They'd all just rather 3-party the other cash out.
I think my biggest problem is positioning. I come from playing light and medium the most, and relatively recently I've been playing heavy. and the positioning is just difficult for me to understand.
No, in general, as a heavy, you just want to post up to a spot where one of your squishy teammates are also able to cover you. Like if you're zipping here, for example, a nice spot for you would be to be in front of that AC, and then just keep walking forward until you find where they are just in front. Like not so far ahead that you're alone and you could get 3v1'd or 2v1s, but close enough that you can be covered. And like it should be second nature. And kind of just like two of them walked in front of you. The Bub was a little wasted because you used it early. Wasn't sure if they're gonna jump on you or not. That winch is wasted. It inherits your velocity whenever you're moving. And they all like this would be like your other heavy had the right idea. They used a Bub there. Another Bub would have been nice, but that's just how they like other people will win against HHM is they just constantly tax. They had enough good damage to go off of, and then they just forced it, and they won that.
So is not forcing. So is playing more aggressive on the HHM the way to go then? If they're just going to be like peeking us and doing damage, and then waiting until they have an opportunity is running at them more of the option?
It depends on the situation. Like if because what happened is they shot you down. You wasted a Bub because you thought they were gonna jump you. Then you regrouped with the teammates, but you all just stood there when you were down HP and down util, and then they just forced a fight. If when you did regroup with your teammates, you got reset, you were able to be sent up with a pad RPG, and then you retake height. That fight goes way better. Or you all decide to rotate inside. You basically like it was a losing fight. You just staying there. You would have had to rotate inside or retake height with your util, like if with a rocket if you had it there. It's not like a hard rule, like you gotta adapt to the situation. But like with double heavies you do hold and can push a lot of space. Especially indoors. Like that whoever's in that room in there, there's like you could just walk in there with a rocket. There's a sniper on the roof. Make it inside. Dome here for the steel would be nice. Or goo. That problem with double heavy medium is it's harder to fight height or challenge because you're still limited on movement. You only have one pad. So being smart with your util value, especially when it comes to forcing, is going to be important. Nice winch. That medium should die to get away. Missed shots on them there. If in hindsight, knowing that you missed shots, if you take that pad with them and follow them, it makes the kill more likely. This res is not going to go through. Orange is 3-parting. Orange has a lot of... Orange probably gets this steal, to be honest. Because they came to 3-party, they cleaned you up. Purple was already weak in that fight, and then Orange gets that steal. And this is pretty not ideal that Orange gets to have free reign for the rest of this game. They can choose who they want, basically. So knowing that, you gotta make this fight against pink quick. Like either take a fight and then steal, or just steal immediately before the whole server comes, because it's unlikely that there's gonna be a split. It looks like someone was on height, so you can just go inside. Would be so nice to have goo here for the cash out. You're blowing this. Is someone up there? Oh, someone's up there. Nice finds. A winch is too far or just didn't line up. That guy dies though, and you gotta pick. So this is really nice. 2 picks. You can hop on. Blown down by a red barrel, maybe. So your medium's forcing. There's purple's coming. This steel really should go through. Nice, you got the steel. Gonna mesh here would be nice, so you meshing back up. Because you got the steel, you just have to immediately get away. And the mine, mine doesn't have the best use there. Would be better on the cash out with the C4. So we're playing outside, going up to get C4 on. Attacks the pink guy. There's another mesh situation. Well, good try. That's another mesh situation where you get that kill and then you mesh the second guy that was shooting you. So you don't get traded out.
Yeah. Okay.
Granted, like they're both mesh and winch are good. I'm just me personally. I'm just mesh minded. So there's only 10 seconds left. Basically, just keep running at this point. You should mantle up. You really gotta, like, okay, you're good on time now, because there's no one's on, it's been 7 seconds, but like, there's a whole orange team in front of you trying to go for a kill, and there's low time on box. You are down a person, and your other heavy ran. You really should have ran just, like, probably mantled up that crate, and go up a floor and then keep running. Maybe use dome if you have it to keep living, so you can be available to shoot down whoever would hop on the cache. Granted, no one did hop on the cache. Yeah, it looks like your other heavy lived, but
Would have been in a position to help.
yeah. It's nice damage. You can go up on that. That's a wasted dome. It's a wasted dome because like that fight's just not happening down there anymore. All that tax damage, the fight's gonna be happening up there. Because they're gonna back up and reset it, and no picks happen, so they're just gonna reset the damage. A pad, you need a pad at that hole. If your medium can do it. Well, looks like they're gonna zip up the back, but you're stuck down here with little value, to be honest. You grab the vault, I suppose, and that guy conveniently dropped near you. Well, like there's a pick up there, and then you gotta go up there to secure the kills. There's no. I don't think you can mantle that comfortably. Your team had the right idea to just zip up and clean up the rest of them. But it should be default behavior that, like, anytime there's damage or a kill, you gotta be on that body as quick as you can, especially as a heavy, because that's where the fight's gonna be taking place. C4 on the box. One thing you can do with mesh. Oh, there's a fight going on. Like, if you don't want the cache inside, you can blow a hole in the wall and then drag it outside with winch. And because it's in such an open, exposed spot, it can be really easy to just play on the roof and shoot down. So they're forced to fight you on the roof. It's just the downside of that is it doesn't usually have a drop anymore. In chat, your person's saying to hide, because there's two teams. It's purple and orange. It's not really going to be sustainable staying up here. So it would be both have C4 at the same spot. So just hiding here. So we all got collapsed on and died here, or at an earlier point last cash out, or like the last cash out game. You already got found. So like after that, you just got to keep moving, go inside or something, because they're eventually just gonna collapse on your position, and they have all the angles, and you know that they're up there somewhere. But it's not much info to go off of. Your medium pings someone up there, decides to chow. He almost got winch. That was very dangerous. You got your dome preps in case they do drop down. There's a contact, so they baited out a dome. They just like dropped and then zipped up. Then your med's healing up the damage. That guy's rocketed. Your med died though. Med was too far forward. They get the fib. Nice kill. There's low time on cash. You're heavy got the stall, it seems. Still needs to live. He's very, very weak. He's got a red barrel. Okay, he should just hit that red barrel and tack wipe. His time has ran out. That works. But there is a lot of room for error there, to be honest, because you just stayed at a spot when you should be rotating and then finding a way to retake height, or just pad up to height with an RPG, and then you can take a fight from there if you get a good rocket.
And that RPG is just used for initial damage.
It's really good for initial damage. It's also good for cleanup, like cleanup kills sometimes as well, or stalling. But it's really easy value is like if in that situation where you're all down, they're closing in, so you pad up RPG one of the squishies down and then clear roof, and you just have a roof for free. It's 2 people on you, unfortunate. It's a Revo as well, which like has insane headshot damage on heavies.
Oh man, I fucking hate bullshit like this.
We gotta get out of that grab cube. Nice winch though. So we got a kill, drop second, we get this res. They do have defender coin, you got found. That's light. Or no, that's a medium with the Revo. Unfortunate. So you respawns, you're walking on the roof. There's possibly someone over there because of goo. So you're looking at it. They definitely would have backed up by now. They can still tax you though, your left is exposed. You double dome this heavy, winch him. That winch is pretty nice. That just secures the kill. 40 seconds on cash. Your light was just sticking there. That's I'm surprised that they just stick.
Holy shit, fuck.
So you got C4 on and then just move inside. Nice. A lot of heavies do like to put C4 directly on the box, because if the box gets winched, the C4 just stays there.
Okay.
Oh, it was. Ooh, I was a little dangerous too. It was on the side, so it might not have destroyed the piece of the piece of debris that was holding the cash out up. But yeah, it's like the winch thing, and then like potentially being too far from the cash out is why most heavies just place it directly on the cash. So you are first place, which is pretty nice. You can go one of these cash outs, probably A. Like A is only 100 meters away from you. Because you would just win by preventing a split or preventing pink from getting a cash out. Not having a light to move your team does hinder the options. Oh, we're just going for a fight here. So we're challenging height. You heavies posted up on height. You saw them drop at the stairs. You gotta cut them off. Oh, the box is being doubled, which works out well for you. Purple, yeah, purple's trying to double it looks like. Because they could still, purple could still win off a split, basically. They had like 5k, and then if they get the plug and the cash out, it would be 22 plus 5, which is 27, so it would be a kill race against you guys if they do go for a split.
Okay.
Reset your region there, that was unfortunate.
It's crazy the amount of flaws that I see when I watch this back.
Yeah. Realize, like, I don't know how, like, I know you have a lot of friends, and what are you supposed to do? Other than want to win. He goes like, no, it's not like wanting to win. It's like, it's the fact that that's the only way you can have a good time. And I went,
And skipped it when they spawn, yeah.
and I realized, like, oh, I kind of turn it into a different, like, I will.
So this is like under hotel, I believe.
If winning's off the table or being better
You're posted up cash floor.
I turn it into, oh, if I accomplish this, then I'm all right. Then I did it right. Like, for example, there's this one game. It's basically like Sorry, but the adult version of Sorry. And
cache is blown down.
Their favorite game.
Looks like they're on height. It is possible to go fishing here. Where if you happen to winch someone from a floor above down, if they expose themselves,
You're so far
that would be a really easy pick.
I realize like
Oh,
go-to now
wasted dome.
I can't win.
The fight's happening up there.
So the only way I'm gonna
But they pad, you get a pick.
from winning as long as
Nice kill.
and I'm like, again, not that it's like I think that that's truly just deeply disturbed behavior.
This fight's pretty much won. They
Find it very funny. It's like clearly I need to have
could have been played better by them, to be honest. They kind of just stayed up there too long. So they've tapped, you're walking up, you decide not to go towards the vault, you just stay here. So your heavy on BFR is gonna want to hold a lot of long range angles, but it shouldn't really you're not limited by staying by your heavy. It looks like you stray off a bit here, which is totally fine. An RPG here would be super nice. It's a good red barrel. Dome gets wasted because it's behind the goo. They all run really fast anyway. You're making a hole here. Would be nice to go up height instead. Yeah, they're already posted up. Would it like there's a white room up like above where you blew that hole, and if you made a hole towards it just to get to height quicker, it would have been better. They no, it's still lost here.
It's wiped here.
Yeah.
Because I'm new to learning heavy, I kind of default to trying to play, if I have a heavy on me, trying to play on them.
A bunch of nice damage. Shoot out that goo, your heavy charges through. Bubs unfortunately gets wasted again because of that goo. They gooed it off right as you were throwing it. But they deny all those kills. Almost kill that guy. Whoa, nice. Why is he running out in the open when he's 1 HP? We gotta clear that C4. That's so dangerous. That's gonna blow up on you. That's a bunch of damage. Oof. That was very winnable. You would have just had to clear the C4 and then start setting up.
Yeah.
A lot of heavies do, like if they have C4 on them, they just place a C4 on the cache and blow it and it's gonna clear everything on the cache. So they taps vault, they don't have a gateway, so they're gonna have to move eventually. They're probably gonna hit that big pad. They throw it outside because they know you're above, they hear all the footsteps.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Your med just got hit from somewhere. I have heard no audio from that, but they decided to grab the box and walk inside. So you'll just have to keep trying to move above them and then look to cut them off. Your BFR heavy's closer towards them, but they're probably just gonna get outrun. You're going up dome. You can jump forward like from the zip onto that metal circular piece there. They would move a bit quicker. Oh, that's very unfortunate. Start falling down. For the metal dome area, you have to like hold your mantle key down, like spam jump, hold the mantle key down, and wiggle left and right constantly to make your way up. So you're on height, your teammates are down. You're looking inside. They got a pick there. That's very nice. 2 picks. Wow, they just killed those immediately with no damage. There is C4 on the box. So what you could do is winch the box after it gets blown down. This is also fine. He's probably gonna. Oh, I'm surprised that guy just ended up wiping.
I just hate that this game has no.
That guy should have been hiding so they can coin and then they can come back with less more time to work with. So they respawn. It looks like you're posted up on height. Okay, you see all 3 of them. You're looking for the guy in the back. That's a really good damage to go on. Nice, you got a kill. You're reloading. 20 seconds on box. Dome is wasted again because they hop on box instead of going for the body.
But yeah, so that's all of it. I'm hearing obviously that I'm wasting my dome a lot. Some potential areas where I could have gotten more use out of a mesh shield and an RPG. And then obviously not playing off of my heavy who's going to want to hold those high angles. Those sounded like the biggest things to me. Am I missing anything that
So here's a few notes of just like the immediate things I've noticed. It's all util value. Like the domes get placed too predictively, like or too early. Ideally a dome is used to be in place where you were gonna die, but you don't because of that dome, or a teammate as well. Like that's really useful. Is if your med's half HP and they're getting jumped on, you throw them the dome and start fighting that. The fight goes much better. Um, and like the winches are like half and half. Sometimes you do winch a person and it's a really easy kill because you winch from so far away, but also because your winch distance is also so far, it's like it's missed sometimes. And they look a little awkward. Usually if you're winching, you should just winch ahead where you're really certain they're gonna go, like a window or a doorway or up the stairs. Um, and like there's also there's no RPG, which I think is a lot of missed value. RPG's probably an unnecessary gadget for heavy by this point because of how much damage it does, how useful it is for fights, and the versatility with stalling as well. And especially considering that your other heavy has C4, it doesn't like you don't need C4 for yourself as well. And when you do have it, like there's times where you could have used it better, like C4ing for better rotates, uh, or just using it to clear the cache out. Um, but like despite all that, like playing on double heavy is pretty. It is pretty easy. There are teams that are gonna know how to play against it well. Like if there's a good light that's gonna be constantly glitching you and taxing you, and if you feel like there's nowhere to play, that's gonna feel like ass. Um, and that's all the immediate things that come to mind. What class do you usually play, and what struggles do you usually have? I can just go into answering questions at this point.
Um, so I've kind of bounced around between medium and light. Most recently, I played light quite a bit. Um, and as I got, this is kind of like the first season where I actually have played ranked. Um, I maybe have done my placements the season before this, but I never like actually played ranked. So what I noticed this season was when I I I was playing light, and as soon as I started getting to plat, I started losing value. Like I felt like I wasn't really adding to the team. I wasn't doing enough damage uh, to really make up for me not being directly on the team. And so I switched off to heavy because I just felt like it was getting harder to push. Just because I maybe didn't understand the placement, the play style. Wasn't 100% sure.
I'm hearing that. Yeah, it definitely. Um, like there are other like plenty of other people who have had that kind of struggle to where they might be on medium or light and they feel like they play too far and it would have been just better for them to play directly on their team. But a consequence of that is if you're a light playing right near your heavy, you're gonna get blown up, or like you have no surprise advantage as well. So it's a really tricky balance of playing somewhat far, but also playing decently close, or getting value on your own that it's all worth it. And it seems like you're playing heavy because it's just easier. Like you're with the team all the time, and you can the value's consistent, which it is. Like heavy has dome, which is very useful. It's nearly guaranteed value every fight, and the RPG is also useful. Heavy has a lot of HP. There's a lot of power when it comes to forcing because they have so much that can be useful for that. Um, but it definitely like you shouldn't feel hindered to heavy. Like it definitely would be a lot of game sense and adjustment things you'd have to make on a med or light class. But I think even as a heavy, like it's totally fine to play off sometimes. Um, but it is like of the multiple class setups, playing double heavy medium is the most optimal. Where it is often optimal for you just to play all three together and guarantee value because it takes so long to die. There's so much util to burn through. Um, the biggest thing I would really focus on, whatever class you're on, is positioning and spacing. Like you can, it varies a decent bit for every class, with where you should position. But every class, no matter what you're on, you should be very aware of where the enemy is, what their intentions are, and what they and what you can do against it. Because if you're on height and then they shoot you down and you still have some util, you gotta make a choice. Do you want to reach out high with a pad or PG, or do you just want to just rotate inside because the fight's not gonna be good? Um, or if you're on a light where you're up but your teammates are down, it could have been a different situation where you suddenly get a kill or a bunch of damage, and then it's good for your team to come back up because they have a really nice pinch and pressure to work off of. Um, is there like are you gonna decide to full stick with being heavy, or are you gonna go back to light or medium?
I probably wouldn't go back to medium at least anytime soon. I have the most fun playing on light, but there's that competitive nature where you just feel like you want to win, and so that's mainly what drawn me to heavy. If I can figure out the spacing on the light, I would probably much prefer to go back to light.
Yeah, light.
Just spacing is just the hardest part. Just how far do I play off my teammates? Just it's difficult, at least for me.
Yeah, it's definitely tricky on light because there's so many things that can go wrong for you. There is a lot of flexibility with what you can do as well, but typically it's just being at a side angle, getting some value, and the moment that you have good damage to go off of from yourself or the teams, then you start being more aggressive. But it's just punishing. If you go in too deep and you don't hit the shots, then it's just plenty of bad. Or if you get killed by an invis light that you had no idea was there, then it's also rough. Light is the class that has the lowest win rate from the stats that Embert gave us, and it is a tough class to play directly. So unless you're someone that is very, very aware of where everyone is on a team and you use all the info to your advantage, I probably would just recommend playing heavy because there's a lot less room for error.
Right.
On light, sometimes it becomes a rat game, and sometimes you have to play very baity just to see when's the right time for you to go in. As a heavy, it's more straightforward. You're just on the front line usually, and you're getting good util value, and then sometimes you have to live. Sometimes you just have to position for your team to play well behind you.
Okay.
Okay,
yeah. I mean, I appreciate it. If there's anything else you have, please go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Yeah, not too much to focus on, I think. Like, this seemed to be a couple fumbles in some of the fights, but you guys still won. Like, your team was pretty was pretty good playing together. I feel like the BFR heavy you were with had the right idea most of the time. I would, if you're sticking heavy, I would focus a lot on uh trying to use your dome, like get the best value out of it, which is usually just it's gonna be near a kill event, and you need a lot of good game sense to realize when that kill event is gonna happen on yourself, on a teammate, or on an enemy as well. Like if you get good damage to go on, and then you dome near it for you to push on, it's really good. If one of your teammates gets low or you get low, and you know for sure they're gonna jump on you, then use a dome. It's then it's guaranteed value. But if you use it too early, like to where like you think they're gonna jump on you, then you use it and they decide not to do it, or they just back out, then it's kind of wasted. It's like there's sometimes it is deterrence if they're reactive. They're like, oh, there's a dome, I'm not gonna go in, but uh that's usually the highest value I see with it, is using it near a kill event on either side. And that was the biggest thing I saw, is just util value, and then trying to live when you need to, and then finding the right time for you to be aggro. I would like to see a different gun. M60 is pretty comfortable to use. It has a nice amount of ammo. The recoil isn't that much, but unfortunately it doesn't it's not that good of a gun in this current meta. If you go up against a Shaq's just gonna destroy you because it chunks you for so much HP. Shaq also insta kills lights. It takes 5 shots to kill him, especially with winch. If you winch a light and then shoot him with a Shaq, they're dead most of the time. And it does have less ammo and less range, so there is a con to that. But just managing your ammo is a part of that playstyle, and like there's a lot of heavies in competitive that see a lot of usage with Shaq because it's so consistent. It does so much damage. It's really good. There's the SH12, which has a lot of uptime and close range pressure, but it's got no range, so it has a lot of running, and people are just gonna, if they're good, they're just gonna try to run away from you. So uh, it's been seeing less usage in competitive. There's some usage with KS and the BFR because it's very pokey, but I'd say to even begin with those weapons, you'd have to be having like a lot of shots hit, like an insane hit rate. And even I don't prefer using those weapons. I just like using Shaq because it's so consistent with the value that you have. And as the heavy as well, you should be on the front line most of the time. So having a weapon that's good for close range just makes sense for that class. And I would get comfortable with flexing to e- to either mesh or winch. It can be map dependent, but there's a lot of use cases for mesh and there's a lot of use cases for winch. Like winch can move the box. You can use it to get an easy pick sometimes, especially with Shack. It's nice for cash out manipulation when moving it outside, or you shoot a C4 and then winch the cash out so it stays the floor up. That's really nice manipulations to get an easier force. Um, and then mesh, just if you use mesh correctly, you're very, very hard to kill. There's not many lights that use glitches anymore because of the vanish bomb meta. So if you're on mesh and you use it at the right time, like you happen to kill someone, you're being shot by another person, but you're low on ammo, so you just mesh up and start backing up for your teammate, then that's a very positive interaction. They just have to shoot your mesh down or get in your face or have a glitch, but all of that is so much more expensive compared to just shooting you because you're on winch, to where you have to run inside cover because it's no longer going to be a good fight for you.
Right.
Uh,
Okay. Okay, yeah. Um, I'm gonna rewatch this again to make sure I got everything. But okay, yeah. I appreciate it, man. Is there anything else that you wanted to add? Or
that's all for now. I'm just info dumping. Is there any other questions you had about like any other class or any situations in specific that like you might struggle with or you don't know what to do?
yeah, on light, you could I I'm gonna have a harder time thinking of specific use cases on heavy, just because I have a lot less hours played on heavy. But as far as light goes, when when I'm pushing in, am am I trying to be the initiator that does damage and gets out and it lets my team get in, or am I trying to almost be like a fly on their back to where my team initiates the fight and I'll jump in and then make them turn around and just have this little cat and mouse game?
It's not like not a hard set style. Yeah, ideally you should be both. If you're by the side of them and being a constant nuisance and like s- sometimes assassinating the medium, assassinating the light, or going for a 1v1 on the light, it's a lot of pressure. And also, if your team gets damaged that you can go off of, that's really good. It's not a hard set rule where you should be only only getting the closing damage every time or only getting the opening damage. Like you just got to be to get the highest value, you got to be comfortable with being dynamic to either situation. If there's nothing happening, you have to get big damage and maybe a kill. If there's lots happening and you're not there yet, you got to be the one to clean up or to go heal up your teammates and support them.
Okay.
You need a
Um,
lot of flexibility.
we talked about the meta weapons on heavy, and like kind of like the meta loadout would be either winch mesh, jack, SA, bubble, and then RPG, and just kind of flex on the last one depending if you have another heavy that has C4 or whatever. What's like the light meta right now?
Light meta at the moment is Vanish Bomb, Gateway, and H plus Infuser. Vanish Bomb adds a lot of survivability for the lights, and also it's very powerful for a light to shoot another light out of invis. It's 9-3R meta for light because that, and it's a burst weapon, so it's like it pairs nicely with invis. There's also team plays that the light can do where they vanish the whole team and they all pad into that. It's a vanish pad, and you can also combo that with an RPG, and there's just no info that the other team would really have to go off of. They just hear a vanish and they're like, "Oh fuck, we gotta hide." Um,
Right.
and the gateway is nice for moving the vault. It's nice for moving the team in some situations where like it's impossible to get inside. Uh, there's also gate
I feel like
pads.
I feel like I see dash the most.
Yeah,
Are other ones? Is that just also the meta as far as like the uh, specialization in the weapons go?
yeah. Dash is very much meta. There's some lights in competitive that use different like different compositions of a teams like HHM or no, HHL. like a Kazo's team and Honor the Pure's team, where it's two heavies and then an Invis Light, and the Invis Light just looks for big damage on a squishy. And they become a lot more static. But for most of the time, you should just get comfortable with dash. Dash has a lot of movement, a lot of survivability. If you're in a bad spot, then you can just spam three dashes and get out most of the time, and then you'll have Vanish Bomb as well if that's not enough for survival. And then there's dash gate pads where you throw an entrance to a gate, dash on the pad, you go super far, throw the exit for your team, and you move across the map really quickly. But yeah, like it's most of the time it's dash. Invis it can be good if your role is just to play Overwatch beyond height and control it. But there are absolutely ways to play against it, so it's not like Dash or Invis are the absolute best specs. It's just they both have a set of strengths and weaknesses, and most of the time Dash is better for most team comps.
And then last thing, because I think we're coming up on the time mark there. And then you had said that the 93R. Are there other? I see ARNs sometimes, not very often, but I feel like when I see it, it's very annoying to play against. And then also M11, and then sometimes the I forget the name, but the light shotgun, the double barrel, and the automatic one.
Oh, the
I'm
matter.
also, yeah.
Like you're asking what weapons are meta for light?
Yeah, kind of. I would like to have an idea of the odds of me coming up against them in my lobbies, along with what would be the best,
Light's got
quote unquote best.
Light's got a good amount of variation for their weapons. Um, the M11, the DB, and the Matter, they're all close range. And like usually if it's close range light, they're gonna be on M11, and it involves a lot of flanking and dash shooting, and breaking cameras. Like it throws off a lot of players when there's a light in front of your face and they're dashing forward and backward, left and right, and you don't know where they're gonna move. And it's usually just easier for them to hit those shots than it is for you to shoot on them. Um, and like a downside of that playstyle is the light's limited to close range. So if you play range and you have someone covering who could be the victim to that M11 light, it's harder for them to play because they just have to constantly go in, get out, not die, go in, and then reset. The DB and the Matter are pretty much variations. They're just more pokey. And as for range with the light, it's 9-3R or sometimes ARN or LH1. ARN is like a full auto. It's a full auto gun with a lot of range and 2 clips, but it does pea shooter damage, so it's really hard to secure kills with it. It's nice for the range and it's comfortable. You can dash shoot with it, but it's it is hard to make it work sometimes with the way the game plays. It's simply just the case where weapons that are pokey have an easier time getting kills. Which is where the LH1 is usually the better range weapon for light, because it does 44 damage a shot, I think 44 or 46. So it can 4-tap a light, it can 6-tap a medium, and I don't know how many it is for heavy. Maybe 6 or 7 shots, but like LH1 is really nice, especially with the headshot multiplier. The headshot multiplier is 2x, so if someone's stealing the cash and their head just gets shot off by LH1, it's a lot of damage. It's just the only downside of LH1 is you cannot dash shoot with it like you can with ARN and most other light guns. So it's actually pretty well balanced in that regard, to where it's the best long range weapon, but it's weak up close once the lights start dashing and shooting. Because unless that LH1 light hits every shot before they start dashing, they're likely gonna miss once the dashes start going off for them. And like among all those weapons, like 9-3R is just the best one because it's a nice mix of pokey. Like it does pokey damage because it's a burst weapon, but it's also 75 damage per burst, so it's got nice damage, but you can dash you with it, and it's also got 30 meters of range. So it's like it's generally the best weapon for light because it's got so much range and so much damage, and it's got a really quick reload. Um, and that's why most lights use it majority of the time in scrims or in high level ranked. It's gonna be 9-3R. Sometimes you'll see M11, maybe some V9, maybe AirVen LH1, because people will specialize in playstyles that cater to those weapons, or that's simply what they're more comfortable with. But it's like 9-3R is just really good for light at the moment with the damage values that it has and the range and the reload speed.
Okay. Oh, that makes sense. That's pretty much all the questions I had. You got anything else? I'm not trying to keep you extra, but I'm also definitely not going to cut you off. You got anything
No,
else?
it's fine. We're still good on time. We got like 9 minutes. I like if this is your first season of rings and you made it to high plat, like it's pretty good, honestly. Sometimes people get stuck a long time in the low level ranks, and like you still got plenty of things to learn. Like there's still flaws, but I think you're well aware of them now. And once you focus on what you need to work on, and you start picking up on a lot of micro things and positioning, like you're on your way to being a good player, on your way to Ruby. Um, there is going to be like a lot of things to learn in the game. It's like there's a lot of game sense to pick up. Sometimes it seems like situations are just impossible sometimes, or sometimes it seems the game's super random, and maybe that is the case. But typically in fights, there's almost always is a reason or like a general thing that should be looked at, and like there's often a often a lot of time there's not any hard rules. Sometimes it just comes down to slightly better shots, slightly better micro or macro plays. There's a lot of possibilities that you can do with all the specs and the gadgets. Like the game is pretty. It's very open ended with the sandbox that we have at the moment. So there's a lot to soak up in order to become a really good player. That's all I have to say for now. I can send you these notes. If there is no further questions, we can just end it there.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That sounds good to me. And I would love to get those. Um, yeah. I'm not sure what you prefer, but could you just message me the info and then I'll send it your way?
Yeah.